Yes, guys, it's Danny Glover from Fight Fan TV Live. You know the set, and we're here to talk about the latest and greatest word on the canvas. So, I know some of this news, has been spoken about, but I might try and go a bit more in depth or, just try and give, more content updates and stuff like that and things like that of the news. So, this one, as I call it, ain't nothing changed but the Popo. So, in first of all, we'll start with Terence Bud Crawford um, in Omaha, Nebraska, when he had his parade on his birthday, his 38th birthday. You know, police wanted to rain on his parade. It was reported that the Omaha police had mistakenly held the champion Terence Crawford at gunpoint, mistaken identity, they claim. Um, After he left his parade on his 38th birthday in Nebraska, the city was born. Now the police are being investigated, and according to the mayor, the chief inspector, the chief guy, the police chief says that he understands the outrage. There's petitions going on about being these guys being investigated. Um, Terence was placed in handcuffs, arrested, and later released. Um, his head of security guy was saying how he felt in danger. He thought he was going to be all over for them. Felt he was in danger. Um, why do I think this happened? Do I think this was a mistaken identity? No, I don't. I think this is just another case of SWS behavior from race soldiers, from the dominant society. You're in a small town. You're in a place like Omaha, Nebraska, which is not very well known. They don't have an NFL team. They don't have an NBA team. Um, I don't think they even have a baseball team. So it's not like they've got a bunch of celebrities. Can you name me five artists from there? Can you name me three artists from Omaha, Nebraska? I think you'll struggle. So it's not like there's a bunch of celebrities around, like if you're in LA or New York, down in Texas, even. This is Omaha, Nebraska. I feel that it's one of those places where everybody knows each other by first and second names, very communal. So I'm sure leading up to the parade, there was many posters and um, briefings on the champion Terence Crawford having a parade, police deployment being around in the area, security details because it's going to be a parade, streets will get locked off, blocked off, etc. So they know who he is, you know. Especially as a birthday and a parade in the streets. He's got his children with him, his family, his wife, his kids. Um, and I just feel there was some jealous race soldiers going on thinking, you need to know your place. Like, don't think just because how big you are now and you're making all this money, pocket watching, and fame. Like we run the town here. Don't think you run. You might have got the keys to the city, but yeah, we run this city really, boy. That type of mentality. Similar to what they did to Jack Johnson. You know, when he's going, he's beating white champions and stuff, and they didn't really like it. So when he's driving his car, they said he's speeding when he's not speeding. Find him. What was it, 50 dollars or something like that, and then he gave him 100 to keep the change. And he said, "Why?" He said, "Because I'm coming back this way." And he was like, "I know you're gonna try and pull me again, so just keep the change, just like allow it in it." So it's that type of thing. They don't like to see, a brother doing too well. They feel that a man might get bright and what you call it, motivate certain people. I don't know. They just got some kind of, but that was definitely a know your place boy incident. Doing too much, putting guns. Terence Crawford saying he's got a gun in the front of his car. His police detail, his security detail. Um, they had licensed firearms. Omaha, Nebraska is an open carry state. Um, I know they knew Terence Crawford posed no threat or his security. There was security with, of course, it's going to have armed security. This is a parade. Anything can happen. We've seen what's happened recently at parades and rallies, i.e., with Charlie Kirk. So you got to be careful. But they just wanted to, bust him down and just rain on his parade. He's having a birthday. His kid's done a great speech. His son done a great speech about him, and they just wanted to make a wanted didn't want the day to go perfect. You know those ones there. But Terence, he handled it well. His security guy in the back he does actually training um, training classes on how to deal with the police to make sure you don't get you know unalived, etc. Get away nice and safe. And yeah, he obviously you put that into practice, and he's obviously spoke to Terence and to do with it. I think Terence handled it very well. Most recently, I see today he's in some kind of samurai outfit whilst he's in Japan. So that's cool. I see he's with one of them Japanese boxers, Tenshin Nasukara, Nasukawa. So yeah, man, big ups, Bud Crawford. Also, in other news, as I said, I'm gonna keep this brief. So also shout out the sponsor Treasure Boxing Club. In other news, as I said, ain't nothing changed with the Popo. We had former uh, world champion in Acelino Freitas, who famously, he's a Brazilian world champion in boxing. I remember when he beat Barry Jones for the world title back in the day. Beat some very notable names. I remember when he was even meant to fight. He was even touted to fight Prince Nassim Hamid. I remember once upon a time. Acelino Freight. Let me get some because I know some of the names, but let me just see because sometimes you can forget certain names that they beat. Oh, what's going on here? He's either got 2-0 record in his high YB. But yeah, forget all that. So yeah. So I remember when he beat Anthony, he beat Peter Buckley, stopped him in 3 rounds. Legendary journeyman from back in the day. He beat Barry Jones, stopped him in 8 rounds for the WBO super featherweight title. Um, he beat Daniel Alicea. I remember, he knocked him out in 1 round. Naz knocked out Alicea in round 2, but got dropped in the first round. I remember famously. He beat Joel Casamayor, who's 26-0 at the time. Beat Daniel Attar, who's 20-0. One draw at the time. Lost to Diego Corrales. Beat Arthur Gregorian, who was 36-0. Um, took out Michael Oliveira in 9 rounds. Lost to Juan Diaz, who was 31-0. His boxing fight was 2017 against a guy, Gabriel Martinez. I don't know him, but yeah, won on points over 8 rounds. But yeah, come back and had these kind of, I don't know what kind of boxing matches they are, but he's obviously fought a fellow Brazilian here, Wanderlei Silva. The other one was in Sao Paulo against a guy called Eduardo Nagel. I don't know if he was a former UFC fighter, but he's Brazilian too. That guy is 42 years old. Wanderlei Silva is 49 years old. Acelino Freitas is 50. But yeah, so basically what happened, Wanderlei Silva, former UFC champion, fought in Pride and certain other federations. And yeah, he was getting beat by Acelino Freitas, who is actually naturally a smaller man. And then Wanderlei decided to headbutt him. Then all chaos broke loose, and one of Acelino Freitas's no, sorry, one of Wanderlei Silva's team, his coach, some big dude, landed some vicious looking shots, punches, and what's his name? Freitas got trapped in the ropes and got hit with a couple other big shots. Still standing though, but in the melee when it's all kicking off and everyone's fighting, somehow Popo, Acelino Freitas' son, has made his way through, got to Silva, just went bam, one punch knockout, iced him. It reminded me similar to how it's like when you're zoned in on a target and everything's going on around you, you can just focus on that one guy you want. And I guess it's something to do with that blood uh, paternal energy or something. That. Because remember when the incident with Chris Eubank Jr. and Connor Ben with the egg incident, it's all kicking off and stuff. Everyone's getting grabbed by security, but somehow Nigel Ben managed to slide past security, get to Junior, and bam, by the neck. Do you know what I mean? Got him. If he wanted to punch him, he could have punched him or whatever, but he's got to him unmarked. You know what I mean? Everyone else was man marked, but they didn't think Nigel. Same way they didn't think of Acelino Freitas' son, and who obviously knows how to throw hands himself, as it was a one punch knockout. And Wanderlei went out, and they had to drag him across the canvas into the corner to safety. But yeah, man, it was mad. But then Acelino Freitas, anyway, he got a win by disqualification because because of the headbutt, etc. But Acelino Freitas, he did a post. He did a post afterwards because it's like he ended up in hospital. Obviously, with the Portuguese translation and stuff. But to do this video, where is it? Oh, I'm gonna have to translate this now for you guys. So he's saying, in the ring it was and should continue to be just Wand and I on the fighting squad. That's where I should have fought boxing alone as warriors facing each other, but unfortunately there was no emotional balance and it began on the opponent's side. Dirty play, illegal and unsportsmanlike hitting, which resulted to the decree of my victory by disqualification. With the widespread brawl after Wanderlei's fair disqualification, I, Popo, was the first to be suddenly and ferociously attacked by Dida, one's trainer. Experienced in the fighting world, he was insane and out of his reason. Nothing would stop him. I was chained to the ropes and without room to defend myself and react in front of the amount of people around until my brother, Luis Claudio, an internal inspiration in my boxing life, pulled him off me. If it weren't for that, we'd be seeing much worse scenes now, even though I'm in the hospital with sequels. The timeline of aggression is clear and measurable. Everyone has their quota of responsibility, and I have released previous public notes about that, including raising the white flag. No right or wrong in this episode. It was indeed an unhappy post-fight that ended up overshadowing the belt I earned by courage and technique, facing a much heavier giant in front of me, an MMA legend. Let's all recover and ball on, people. The noble art deserves that we leave aside all sides and any differences and come to show that our sport is not violence. Let's be clear, I would never, under any circumstances, ever premeditate any of this. I have decades of irreprehensible sports, and I left the intentions of my speech fully clear in the previous public note about it, in which I repudiate the unfair attempt of manipulation by Wandrum and team. The life that goes on. I'm open to dialogue, handshakes, leaving everything behind like an episode of being laminated and repudiated, but also overcame. I apologize for myself, my team, and my children. I was hoping it would be reciprocal, but no matter what, my words and I still stand. He's got other ones in the hospital bed. I'm not sure what happened. He's having a surgical procedure. He's got didn't late. I see another post. He's got like a cast on his arm. I think he's injured his hand. Medicals, all well, recovery. Pray there will be no sequels in me or my opponent. Yeah, I think he's done his hand or something, or his arm. But yeah, mad that Wanderlei Silva people saying, oh, he's got CTE, and the MMA boys are really trying to pull the cape out for him and stuff like that. But yeah, man, the guy's out of control. And people say he's always been a nasty piece of work, so he had what's coming to him. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. I'll be doing more updates. I think it's just announced about some breaking news today, i.e. Ben Whitaker. There's some other stuff as well. Should I quickly touch on a couple other bits and bobs? Do something. Joel Gallagher, great news that he's fought the fight and won. He's overcame 4-stage cancer, and he's now in the clear. He was diagnosed in November last year, September, the end of September. They said the doctor said he beat the cancer, so great news. Great to see, man. So he says all he's done. There's no further treatment. All I have to do is every 6 months. I don't know what he said, but the doctors are very happy with his progress and his cancer recovery. So that's great to see. So great stuff. Big up Joel Gallagher, man. Great guy. Cecilia Breakhouse, she retires as champion. She beat Emma Kozin on points. She managed to also get the boxing ban lifted from Norway, where she's from. So yeah, good stuff on her retiring as champion. I think she's like 44 years old. Emma Kozin, it was like 26, so some probably 18 years younger, young enough to be her daughter. Um, but yeah, she beat her on points with skills. I haven't seen that fight though. Check out, well, you can check out if you want the playback of my watch along for the Nigeria card in Lagos last week, Wednesday. Brandon Glanton stopped Marcus Brown at the end of the 6th round. Marcus Brown landed some really good shots, probably the better landing, looking quality shots, good uppercuts, hooks, even if he's back off the ropes, good on fighting on the inside. But Brandon Glanton's persistence, wearing him down, body punching him in the leg, the body, big uppercuts and stuff, just broke his will. Probably went to the body a lot because he saw that's what Artur Beterbiev did in their fight to break him down and eventually take him out. Marcus Brown, known for using his head in for doing some serious damage as he did to Badu Jack and Beterbiev, splitting their heads open. But yeah, he landed a couple low blows on Brandon Glanton. He wasn't happy about that. He did return in kind, not as egregious. But yeah, it's a good main event. Dan Aziz got a 4th round stoppage. In my opinion, carried the guy for the first 3 rounds, probably just because his family out in Nigeria and friends in Nigeria was there to see, didn't want to just end it in 1 round so quickly. But when he was ready to take him out, he took him out in the 4th round. There was another guy who looked all right, but he called out Nick Ball. He was getting really animated, effing and jeffing, etc. he'll get beat by Nick Ball, but hey, sometimes you got to get your payday, man, and take your opportunity. And he seems like he does actually believe in himself. So yeah, overall the Nigeria card, it's the first one in it. We know there was Rumble in the Jungle back in the day, but they're doing ones in Ghana. This is the first one in Nigeria of any magnitude on the zone, etc. So you got to take it with, don't think it's going to be everything's going to work perfectly. Some of the cameras they used looked very predated. If there was one from a bit wide range, they definitely need to scrap that one. The other cameras looked cool though. Couple of guys on the card, the opponents, who were certain ages. They were saying they were certain ages, which was old enough, but I think they was even older than that, 8 to 10 years older than that. So they might need to think about some of their opponents, get a couple of younger guys in, because some of them uncles were looking, come on. But it is what it is, isn't it? Any other news quickly? I will go through this one just quickly because I'll probably forget about it otherwise. I see Alicia Baumgardner and Caroline Dubois going back and forth. So this is how it started. Alicia Baumgardner's like, listen, Caroline, the beanhead ass, keep my name out your mouth until you actually dominate your own division. Do what Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, and I already did. Become undisputed. Matter of fact, go handle Beatrice Ferreira or Terry Harper or Stephanie Hand first. I know you're thirsty to fight on MVP Promotions card. Talk is cheap, but belts ain't. I cleaned out 130 and became undisputed. That's called greatness. You keep mentioning my name for clout, but I've proved myself time and time again while you're still begging to be seen. And then got like a yawning face and a bomb, obviously for Baumgardner. And then Caroline's responded, listen here, you drug You drug cheating ass. I'm chasing big fights and big moments. I'm going to deal with my division. Don't you worry about that. All the stars aligned for you to make a clean run at Undisputed, and I'm praying I can get the same opportunity sooner rather than later. But like I said, I'm chasing big fights, big moments. You can get this work anytime. But don't worry, I get it. You want to use the excuse of the lack of belts, that's cool, but I'm building myself up to be the baddest woman on the planet. The fight will happen, and when it does, people will realize I was never lying. I don't know if did Alicia respond? I don't think she did. I think that, yeah, I think that's about it. So the saga continues. They've been going back and forth for a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that one's heating up. So yeah, there we have it. Is another one from Danny Glover for Fight Fan TV Live. Remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. Shout out to Treasure Boxing Club. Also, remember that. Also, thank you all the new subscribers. Much appreciated. I hope you're enjoying the content and the videos I'm posting. Some are hit, some are missed, but hey, it is what it is. You're gonna like some, some you might not be interested. But if you do like what you see, hit the like button, hit the hype button, hit the subscribe button, share, leave comments in the comment sections. Anything, any subjects you want me to talk about, anything you think I've missed, any opinions on anything I've said, please leave it in the comment section. And all support and feedback is much appreciated. There you have it, Danny Glover, Fight Fan TV Live. You know what it is.